Good afternoon, Flosstube. It is Saturday, December 7th. It is late in the afternoon here in Texas. Busy day of errands and gift wrapping and a little bit of menu planning. We are celebrating grandson's birthdays tomorrow and working toward the big Christmas holiday. Still working during the weekdays, and just every moment is full. But I had to come see you today because I wanted to show you some progress, which I'm excited about. Every little bit of time I've had to stitch, I've been thrilled about. And I also wanted to introduce my little house guest who is about to go home with her family, but I knew a lot of you were dog lovers and would want to meet Lucy, my daughter, and her family, who lived in Okinawa for a time with Air Force career, acquired this precious little miniature dachshund while over in Okinawa, and she has traveled with them, of course, all the way back to the United States. And while they are in a little bit of transition, she's been at our house for a week or so, and we have had so much fun throwing the tennis ball, letting her fetch, just enjoying a lap dog, which we have not had for a long time. Lucy is under 10 pounds, so she's a classic lap dog, and just having fun spoiling her. So I wanted to introduce Lucy. Forgive me while I bend down and pick her up. She is easy to lift and fun to be with. I'm going to see if I can get her to look at you. Probably not. She's oblivious to the filming, but she's kind of the reddish blonde, long-haired miniature dachshund, and she's the cutest thing when she runs. I don't know if you can see these fuzzy little paws, but we love her little fuzzy paws. And she is a sweet, sweet girl, so we've had fun with Lucy, and I knew you would enjoy seeing her. The sad news around here is that our own dog, Roxie, is no longer with us. 2 or 3 weeks ago, she had been having some wandering episodes, and I know I had spoken to you all about that. You would hear her clicking on the hardwood floors in the background, and we knew that that could possibly be some senility. Well, it was a Friday afternoon, and I had taken the afternoon off to do some errands and personal things, and my son, who happened to be home, called and said, "Mama, you need to come home. Roxie has had a seizure." Fortunately, he was home with her and was able to be with her, and then he was finally able to get her on her feet. But by the time I got home, she was walking, but very unsteadily, almost as if she were, well, I hate to say intoxicated because she's a dog, but you could tell she was not herself. So we went right away to the vet, and once we got in the exam room, she started the wandering around and around the room again, and by the time the doctor got in there, she was in that moving around in an unplanned way. It was so sad to see. So I was there with the veterinarian whom we love and trust, and we talked about her quality of life and what had happened with the seizure and what had been going on, and we agreed that there was no point in pursuing care for her when the symptoms were just dementia, and the seizure could have been a number of things. It could be a tumor in her brain. It could have been some kind of cancer. It could even be diabetes in a dog. So we agreed as a family to go ahead and have her put down, and there have been a lot of mixed feelings, and we're still very sad to have lost her. She had been with us for so long and was such a faithful, good dog, but we knew that age 15 or maybe even more was a long time for a dog who weighed over 50 pounds to live. So it was good that we had little Lucy come in to visit right at the end of the time that we were grieving our Roxie. So, you know, this has been an interesting year for our family, and we are moving forward and realizing that what has happened is just part of life, and we are trying to embrace this precious holy season and move into the celebration of Christmas with joy and excitement. As you can see behind me, we have our Christmas tree up. We have done a lot of decorating. We're not quite finished, but I wanted to show you my Christmas stitching and talk briefly about some plans. I hope the video finds you in a good place right now, whether you celebrate Christmas or not, if you celebrate Hanukkah or none of the holidays at this time of year. I hope your winter is going well and that your stitching is with you and bringing you relaxation and excitement. The first thing I am really thrilled to show you is my Maura Blackburn sampler, which I have been working on this last week to try to get the border finished there on the bottom. And I hope my lighting is not against me this late in the day, but if you look at how lovely her color choices are, these are all DMC. And what you see here in this bottom border right here is what you're going to see all the way across. So that gives you an idea of what I still have to fill in. I ripped the green part out twice before I got it exactly correctly lined up. I was half a stitch off both times, but got that in one night, and now I'm trying to fill in what is left. But what is so exciting to me about this sampler is when I look at the whole thing, let me see if I can put something behind it, I realize that it is a small sampler, because what you see here will be halfway, and then we'll have this much. I could not put my hand on my picture of what this will look like, but if you remember, it's called Country Cottage, and this is the beginning of the cottage here in the middle. But for some reason, I just wanted to get that bottom border finished to be sure it would be properly aligned. There will be a couple of colors I will stitch straight across, similar to this, underneath here. And then I think I will go back up here and work in this section. And of course, this beautiful border will go all the way around. It has been very nice stitching in the evenings, not as fast as I would like. I think I've gotten slow lately because I haven't stitched as much. But I do plan to have this be a finish as soon as I possibly can. And I would love, love, love to get this framed. It is Maura Blackburn, Country Cottage. And then you remember my jumping off into Needlepoint after my trip to England. This is my Primavera Shaker Village stocking. And I am very aware that my needlepoint stitches are not as beautiful as they should be, but it is the first needlepoint I have done since I was a very young teenager. So we won't talk about how long that has been, but I want you to see how much progress I've made. And I want to say that if you are watching something or you are at work and you are on your lunch hour and maybe a little distracted, this stitching is easy to do because you are painting by number. That's all you're doing. So I don't know the best way to show this, but I do want you to see my progress. So the top part of the stocking is finished, and it is the heart patchwork. And then the starry night with the moon is finished. Most of the mountain range blues and grays with the snow on top are finished. There are a few places where we need to fill in a little bit of color. And then you can see the evergreen trees, beautifully done with several colors of green. And then the little brown house is almost finished, as is the little red house. And then I want to show you the bottom half because I've done a little bit of work on that. Let me try to open it up like this. So let's see. Oh, this is difficult to see. So I've done the top. Goodness. I'm not sure how to show you this. Okay. The little dog is partially done. I was using up some brown. And then you can see a little bit of this house and this one and this one and a little shirt there. And I believe that's all we've done. But this is going to be, how can I show you the size? A large stocking. Let me hold this up. So you see it will be very large. I have loved the Anchor yarn. If you remember, I told you it is manufactured in Hungary. And as I said, I didn't have a frame, so I didn't use one. But if I do needlepoint again, I will use a frame because I think it will help my stitches. But I'm very happy with this because it has moved me from a place of not wanting to stitch at all because of circumstances that had happened this fall into I'm ready to stitch everything. And I think it was because it was the mindless paint by number stitching, and it was easy to carry with me wherever I was going. I've taken it to the tire store where I had to buy 2 new tires. I've taken it in the car anytime my husband is driving. I've taken it to work and worked on it most lunch hours. And even at night at home, I've done a little bit of stitching. So I know I can do many new stitches. I can do better stitches, but it has been a good project. So I'm going to call it my therapy stocking, and we will use it proudly at Christmas. I'm not sure if it will be someone's stocking or if it will just be a decorative stocking that will remind me of my trip, my trials this semester, and my blessing of the therapy of needlework. So thank you for sharing that with me, and just know that if you ever want to try needlepoint, find something you love and jump in. It's a different skill and it requires less of your mind power. So for me, this was a blessing. My plans for the rest of December are to continue on that stocking and on my Maura Blackburn sampler. I did not bring my Mississippi house, Longwood, I believe, to show you, but I have done a little bit more on that one. I'd like to keep that in the working that I'm doing. And I really want to pull this back out. I had picked this up because Connie G. Stitches, who is making this beautiful Christmas piece. And if you remember, this was an eBay find, an old Dimensions kit. But I have not pulled this back out since I spoke with you before. And so I would like to get some stitches into here as soon as I can. Let me try to show you how this goes. Okay, so this was just Mary's, the beginning of Mary's halo, and then the beginning of her beautiful headpiece and her dress. You remember that it's done on Black Ada, and of course the colors just jump right off of that Black Ada. This is not a difficult stitch at all. It's just a matter of sitting down with it with my good light to be able to see where I'm stitching, but fun, and will be such a treasure for Christmases in the future. I would like to do a quick shout out as I talk about a stitch along, and this is something I want to do, but I have not ordered the kit, so we'll see if it happens. Currahee Stitcher, Please check her out. It is Curahee, which is a name, I believe, associated with a mountain in her area. She's a delightful lady and does beautiful seasonal stitching. She is doing a stitch along with some other stitchers of a Dimensions Christmas kit, and I believe it is called Christmas Village. But you get in the kit 4 ornaments to make, and they are beautiful houses. Each one is a different house. I believe another stitcher who has done those ornaments is from Britain. Oh my goodness, I want to think of her name. But I believe she's been working on those. I'm going to have to think who I saw doing that. But they are doing the stitch along on Instagram. And if I can order that kit from eBay, I'd like to throw that in with all the other things I have to do, because 1, I've never really done a stitch along, and 2, they're beautiful ornaments. So I'm going to jump on eBay and see if I can find those. I will definitely share those with you if I move forward in that direction. But do check her videos out, and you can also look her up on Instagram. I'll put them in the notes below, her name, so that you can look her up. I believe that is all that I will share today, but I want you to know how much I'm sending holiday greetings and love, and would love to hear from you. I am behind in every way, but I am taking things one day at a time and doing all I can and finding time, even if it's a little bit of time, to put those stitches in, which makes me breathe and makes me calmer and gives me beautiful products to enjoy. If any of you have suggestions about new projects or getting old whips done, please let me know. You know I am not a rotation stitcher. I have to stitch what calls, but I am looking for ways to get more done and to finish some of my mini projects. So if you've had any brilliant ideas lately, let me know. And I hope I'll be back for one more video before December 25th. If not, I will definitely be back before the first day of the new year as we approach 2020, the beginning of a new decade. I'm just feeling rather old right now when I think about 2020. As you can see, I've gone back to my curls. We'll see how long that lasts, but I've enjoyed less upkeep and a little more freedom as far as that goes. So you'll know that I reserve the right to change my mind about my hair. Blessings to all. Enjoy your stitching. Let's visit again very soon. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed, please push that button. Give me any likes that you feel like giving. I would love to hear from you. See you soon. Bye.